Cement of 1000 BC found to be impervious to radioactivity. Well, if it was impervious to radioactivity, what was the reason for that? Did they have something radioactive since that time? As Professor Estafios Estafiadis, chemical engineer, EMP, graduate of 1945, curator, EMP honorary general director, the ancient Greeks had concrete for 3,000 years, more durable than the American Portland cement. And according to an announcement by Martha Goodway, physical chemist, metallurgist, and archaeological Smithsonian in 1992, at a conference in Boston, the mortar used to make the coating of the Lavrian tanks is impervious to radioactivity, apparently due to the presence of lead, which is metal that protects properties against harmful X-rays. He even recommended the use of this material as a means of coating nuclear waste storage tanks. The behavior of ancient Greek cement during setting is similar to that of the well-known industrial Portland cement. The careful special laboratory tests of the specialized chemical engineer Estafiadis in 1978 on the ancient concrete of the Kamiros Reservoir revealed the following essential characteristics. Careful ratio and excellent granulometric gradation of aggregates, sand and gravel types. At least two and probably three different, both in terms of their grain size and mineralogical composition, aggregates were used. Namely A, silica aggregates, B, granular limestone material, and C, fine grain limestone material, in such proportion so that the final granulometric gradation and curve of this mixture is very close to that relatively recently, 1907, by American Fuller, given and known by modern engineers mathematical expression of the excellent granulometric grading, which is provided by the mathematical formula of the attached photo, where the P, the passage weight percentage of the aggregates from each separation, sieve, D equals the intermediate size of the grains, and capital D, the maximum grain size of the mixture of the aggregates. Use after careful selection to obtain grains of regular geometric shape, cuboidal and not flattened. The absence of natural but adhesion damaged impurities, for example clay or silty coatings on the grains, indicates a careful removal of impurities by washing before the materials are used. Accuracy and the proportion of fine mortar content, which includes lime, natural volcanic earth, and fine sand up to 2 millimeters in size. Remarkable distribution of the cement mortar throughout the concrete mass. The adhesion of the mortar used is particularly strong on the surface of the grains of aggregate materials even today, resulting in its extremely difficult separation even with the use of modern steel cutting instruments. Simultaneous and harmonious combination of tightness, high mechanical strength, and continuous mass without cracks, especially in the case of vertical surfaces, for example, side walls of tanks, which were laid in a formwork, but also the correct proportion of water used for mixing the concrete was of great importance. Less or more water in the mixture would have adverse effects on the harmonious bonding of the materials and the workability of the concrete. Regarding the mechanical strength of the ancient Greek cement, a series of tests by Mr. Estafiadis showed that the compressive fracture stress amounts to 135 milligrams per square centimeter, classifying it in the category of waterproof concrete type B120. The research in the US gave applications combining ancient concrete and present-day Portland cement. A dam was built in Utah in 1987, consisting of 40% Portland and 60% cinder, a byproduct of burning amorphous siliceous mass that's chemically the same as volcanic earth, a byproduct of power plants. Hydrated Portland rendered the component of hydraulic calcium compounds contained in the chemical compounds of ancient concrete. There are two ASTM standards of the admixture of artificial volcanic ash and concrete. The usual ratio is at least 25% replacement of man-made cement with fly ash from burning coal in power plants. The archaeological site of Tumba Thessaloniki, known since 1894-95, extends on a plateau to the east of the city. It includes the conical hill with superimposed buildings, phases of the Bronze Age, beginning the second millennium to 1100 BC, the Iron Age, 1100 BC to 800 BC, and the historical times, 800 BC and after. The trapezoidal area around the hill, with remains of the settlement from the early period of Iron, Archaic, that's 800 to 480 BC, Classical, at the time of Alexander the Great, 480 to 323 BC, and early Hellenistic, 323 to 300 BC, years, scattered, isolated sites within a radius of 500 meters from the settlement and its extensive cemetery. Mortar samples from the late Bronze Age phase, 1200 to 1100 BC, were studied. Bricks, binding mortar, and plastering clay, which were taken from internal and external walls of houses and from retaining walls. From the combined analysis of granulometry, chemical composition, microscopic examination, and determination of mechanical strength, the following results were obtained. In bricks, the percentage of calcium CaO ranges from 6 to 12%, while in binding mortars, it's a constant 15 to 17%, and in plasters, 24%. In the plinth of the south wall, CaO content was found to be 21%. There does not seem to be any differentiation of the clays in terms of fineness. 65 to 85% of the material passes through a water sieve hole, 0.04 millimeters in diameter. The strengths of clay mortars range from 5 to 7 kilograms per square centimeter. There are inclusions, ceramic materials, shells, wood fibers, coal grains, pebbles, calcite aggregates, roots, and salts in the bricks, from the water reservoir of the city of ancient Camiros to the island of Rhodes. The content of the paper essentially concerns and aims at highlighting, presenting, and underlining the high level of the specialized ancient Greek technology of material constructions. The specialized ancient Greek material construction technology begins with the ancient Greek engineers of the Archaic and Classical period, with the world-leading production of Greek binary hydraulic cement and concrete, and continuing its evolutionary course over the centuries. It reaches, inherited from generation to generation, the Greek engineers of the Byzantine period. They, like their ancestors, make an exemplary contribution, contributing the new analogical inventions in this field were the production of binary hydraulic cement mortar, kurasani, and ceramic concrete for underheated floors, hypocosta, etc. These remarkable original topics that belong to the history of Greek technology have been objects of my laboratory and research technologies during my long academic and professional career immediately after the end of the Second World War, such as the unknown internationally until 1978, my revelation of the methodology and technology used by the ancient Greek engineers of the Archaic and Classical antiquity for the production of Greek cement in binary form, but produced with another completely different technology adapted to the technological data and needs of the time. Today, technology, on the contrary, uses heavy, bulky facilities not necessary at that time, adapted to international technological data and to today's very large quantitative, mainly needs and speeds of promotion for the completion of projects. The traces of this ancient Greek technology knowledge are visible, despite over the millennia, in a multitude of constructions which date back at least to the second millennium BC. The water tank of Camiros Rhodes, the reservoirs of the mining facilities of Lavrio Attica, the tanks and baths in Aegina Attica, tanks in Perahora and Corinth, plumbing installations in Cyprus, the overdoor of the treasure of Atreus in Mycene, the underground arcades of the Minions in Piraeus, equestrian hydraulic works in Piraeus, the Ilissos Bridge in Athens, the walls of ancient Athens, rainwater tanks of Athens, the Preminisclean Reservoir on the Acropolis of Athens, lime mortars in the Stoa of Attalus of Athens, water reservoir in Acarnania, reservoirs in Olynthos, northern Greece, reservoirs in Palero, Akamania, reservoirs, water reservoirs all over the place. It's just too many to mention here. And also in Cyprus and other islands. Regarding the mechanical strength of the ancient Greek cement, a series of tests by Stephiades shows that the compressive fracture stress amounts to 135 milligrams per square centimeter, classifying it as a category of waterproof concrete type B 120. So this is what they had since at least 1000 something BC, 1200 BC, or over 3,000 years. So isn't that something? Very, very strong cement. And these constructions are still standing undamaged today. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.